Good morning. Good morning, Bismarck Mandan. Hello to my wonderful parents in Western New York and to all of our international listeners out there. I'm Jenna Gullo, the Executive Director of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way, and happy to have Ms. Jensen, Ms. Amber Jensen, the Marketing and Operations Manager at United Way in studio with me.
Good morning, everyone.
We've been excited and thrilled to be planning our second Cinco de Mayo social for the Women's Leadership Circle. And then we have a strategic planning session tomorrow. It's just very exciting things going on.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard, we are having our Women's Leadership Circle social on Thursday, May 5th. We will be at the Courtyard by Marriott in Bismarck from 4:30 to 6. We'll be enjoying margaritas and sangria and some nachos. So full of festivities. Great opportunity to learn about all the work that those wonderful ladies are doing here in the Bismarck Mandan community and also how you can get involved. So if you haven't marked your calendar, make sure you join us on Thursday, May 5th from 4:30 to 6. It's come and go, so if you can't come until 5, don't worry about it. We'll still be there.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, and it's very casual. We just want to provide you an opportunity to learn more about the work that we're doing. The Women's Leadership Circle actually helped us to start our United Way Adopt a Classroom program. So we have women going into Saxvik Elementary. We'll have to find a new location now, but women who have developed these strong bonds with these kids from Saxvik. They go in every other week. They help tutor, mentor, read to these kids. They even do recess and lunch. It's just been amazing.
Yeah, it's been a great opportunity for a lot of those ladies to grow with these kids. A lot of them started in mentoring second graders, and this year they moved on to them while they went to third grade. And so they've developed just wonderful relationships with these kids and just been a positive mentor for them. If you wanted to just have somebody to talk to at lunch. I know one lady, she has to put together a schedule for who she's going to eat lunch with because so many kids want to eat lunch with her. So it's just been a really great relationship that we've been able to start with them. And they also, the Women's Leadership Circle, really helped us with the backpack program. And I know as we're getting towards summer and wondering how these kids that are going to school are going to continue to have access to these meals, United Way actually has some really exciting news as we get to the summer feeding program.
Well, as you know, United Way really focuses on data. We don't just focus on perception of issues in the community. We want to know what the real issues are. So we found out that North Dakota is one of the worst states at reaching kids who go hungry, who are, getting their meals during the school year, their breakfast and lunch at school during the summertime. And so only 7% of those kids in North Dakota are being fed by our summer feeding programs. In fact, we're 49th in the whole country.
That is just crazy.
It is crazy. And part of that is because, there are so many rural towns in North Dakota, but even in Bismarck, our percentage is really low on the percentage that we're reaching. So how it used to work is that kids who were signed up for Camp Ed would be able to get their breakfast and lunch. But that was just such a small percentage of kids in our population. So last year we helped out Mandan Public Schools. It was phenomenal. They ended up preparing and serving meals in the park right downtown by the Mandan Library and also at one of the elementary schools. And so United Way, they had funding for kids, so United Way helped to support adults. And so we were able to feed people every single day during the summertime. It was great. Kids and adults, everyone in Mandan that needed a meal, they were able to get one through the parks.
And I loved what the library did, was providing the superhero for an opportunity for kids to, I know you went with the First Lady, just to have an opportunity to meet really great people in our community and have them read to them or play games. I know they probably did some chalk art, just different things to keep those kids energized in the summer and give them some physical activity while providing them the necessary meal that they really need.
Yeah, and absolutely. And keeping their reading skills up to par. So much is lost over that summer break. And so what we did in Mandan worked so well that we are able to partner with Bismarck Public Schools this year. So we'll be in 4 parks. Instead of just serving kids at the schools, Bismarck Public Schools is willing to serve them in the adjoining park. So we'll be down at Sons of Norway, which is near Jeanette Myrie. will be at Wachter Wave Pool, which should have a ton of kids, I'm sure, which is right near Dorothy Moses Elementary School. We'll be up at Wilmore. There's a park right near there. And then we're trying to determine that fourth site. So United Way will help recruit volunteers. So we need 2 people per site, and we're going to start with Sons of Norway. That's right. If you're listening, it's right on Expressway and 13th. And we need these volunteers to help with the, giving the meals out to the kids, but also keeping the kids safe. We want to make sure that the crosswalks are being guarded, that, there aren't any strange adults lurking around, that the kids really understand their boundaries. And so we're looking for 2 United Way volunteers per day for that site, as well as Wachter Wave Pool. We want to make sure that kids are crossing the street safely.
And that will just be a quick hour volunteer opportunity. You could do it during your lunch hour. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'd say between 11:45 to 1 o'clock, 1-ish. And so we're looking for businesses to take on one weekday at one of the parks. So you would just have to commit to sending 2 people down, throwing on a Live United t-shirt, and following the instructions that we provide. And so United Way is also looking for dollars. We're looking to raise $20,000, and this is to make sure that all kids and adults are being fed throughout the summer months when it's really hard for kids, particularly when they're not getting to school. If they're not enrolled in those programs, what do they do during the summer days? So United Way wants to take care of that for you. So contact United Way, give us a call at our office, or go online to msaunitedway.org. We're making sure that kids and adults in Bismarck-Mandan don't go hungry over the summer months. Join us in just a couple minutes. We'll talk about an important food drive. We have Mr. Dewey Reinert joining us.
Right now, 61.
Here's Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons on Super Talk 1270.
Hello. I'm Jenna Gullo. I'm with United Way, and so is Amber Jensen.
Good morning, everyone.
I'm also the host of your wonderful morning show. Thank you all for tuning in. So we just wanted to remind people that you can volunteer for our summer feeding program. We need 2 volunteers per day per site. We are going to be at 4 schools at the parks. Near those schools, we're going to be helping at Kiwanis and the Bismarck Public Library, and we'll be back over in Mandan this year. So please help us. Please support the cause and make sure that people don't go hungry this year. It's only $4 for a summer meal. So go to msaunitedway.org. And also, we're going to be posting, if we haven't yet, we're going to be putting the volunteer opportunity on volunteerbizman.com. So look in the coming days for that post, and hopefully your business can take one day for each of the weeks during the summer. We're doing the summer feeding between June 13th and August 5th. So speaking of summer feeding, many of the ways that we keep our costs low, not only in the agencies that we serve, but through our United Way Backpack program, is for food drives. And we have the biggest and best food drive of the year coming up. In studio with us is the honorable, incredible, smart, wise, and handsome Dewey Reinert. Thanks for joining us, Dewey.
Thank you, Jenna. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Dewey, you've been doing this for as long as I remember. You've been organizing the Postal Food Drive. Talk to us about it.
The National Association of Letter Carriers Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive is in its 24th year. And this is the world's largest single-day food drive. It's not only going to be happening in Bismarck and Mandan, but also in over 10,000 cities and towns in all 50 U.S. states.
Isn't that neat? So all of our listeners around the country can put their grocery bag out by the their mailbox,
That's
right?
correct.
And when is this happening, Dewey?
This will be next Saturday, May 14th.
Wow. I feel so badly because this is the first time in about a decade that I'm going to be missing this volunteer extravaganza. I'm going to be out of town. So it's so exciting. We at United Way try to help out the postal carriers because that's a ton of extra work for you guys.
It is, but volunteers help out. There's United Way volunteers. Some of the spouses and friends of the carriers, they also help out and volunteer their time. And it's just a great benefit. So it's satisfying delivering mail, but it's even more satisfying on Food Drive Day. You feel like you're really making a difference in the community.
And so how can volunteers help you, Dewey?
They can, especially on a route like mine, I have an all-walking route where it's tough enough just going up and down the steps, delivering the mail, and then trying to pick up food at the same time. So a lot of times there'll be volunteers that will walk in front of me and pick up the food and take it back to my vehicle or to their vehicle. It just saves me a lot of time and a lot of hard work, actually, too.
And even in the rain, it's fun, right, Amber?
I know. I was going to say last year it rained on us a little bit, and so all of our food that we were picking up kind of was a little damp, but it was nice to have the volunteers out in front of the postal carriers in the vehicles, making sure they can collect all that food and get it out to those agencies.
Well, and the important thing, too, is what kind of food that we would like, that we would request. Because I literally have been sorting food at the post office on that big day, and we get tens of thousands of pounds of food.
Yep.
But you can tell people are just cleaning out their cupboards. I remember having something like turkey gravy or something of that nature that the expiration date was 1975.
Yeah, that's not good. No, we want all kinds of food. Make sure it's non-perishable. Things like canned meats, vegetables, pasta, rice, cereal, soup, juice, basically anything that doesn't spoil. And also, like Jenna said, make sure that the food hasn't expired, and also make sure it's not inside of glass containers.
Yeah, the glass is dangerous because we have a lot of kids sorting, number one. And then we put a lot of the food into our United Way backpacks for kids to take home with them over the weekends. And so you don't want that glass falling and breaking in. Plus, it causes a huge mess.
That's true.
And so when do you recommend that they put the food out? Should they do it the night before? Should they do it that morning? I know my carrier comes early, and so last year I was running and tracking them down.
I would say the best bet would probably be to put it out at 9 in the morning on Saturday, May 14th, because there will be some volunteers and some carriers that might come out earlier to your neighborhood to pick up the food. So just to be safe, you have it out early.
And if you happen to be gone the weekend, can you still put it out on Monday morning if you absolutely have to?
Yes, if you can even leave it earlier on Friday, or if you're gone for the weekend, you can put it out Monday. That'd be fine too. We'll still pick up the food then also.
So, Dewey, nationwide, when all of these 10,000 communities come together, how much is typically raised around the country?
The last 12 years in a row, we've picked up over 70 million pounds of food. And that's amazing. That's making a huge difference in our communities. It's literally helping thousands and thousands of people. And since the food drive started in 1993, we've collected over 1,400,000,000 pounds of food.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
That's amazing. It's
over
just
1 billion. That's incredible.
That's a milestone. That's right.
That's a huge milestone. And people don't realize that there are so many people in each of our communities that are depending on this food.
Definitely.
In fact, over the last 3 years, we've seen an 87% increase in people needing help from our local food pantries here in Bismarck-Mandan.
Yes. I mean, all the time you hear about people becoming unemployed, or they might have some large medical bills that they can't pay. And something like this, I know it's got to be humbling for people to go to a food pantry, but some people need that. They're just going through unfortunate circumstances in their lives.
Absolutely. So in Bismarck, what did we raise last year? What did we collect?
In Bismarck-Mandan, we picked up 54,000 pounds of food.
Is that a milestone? Because I think, was 1 year 56? I can't remember.
Yes, one year we did have 56.
Oh, we got to get over that 56 again,
nice
everybody.
To break the record.
Yeah, we need 60. Let's just shoot for 60,000 pounds of food for Bismarck.
That'd be a nice number to have.
Because that doesn't include Mandan, right?
It does, yes.
It does include
Bismarck
Mandan.
and Mandan, yep.
Oh.
We're combined, yep.
Well, then we better just set it at 100,000 pounds for Bismarck and Mandan.
And you don't realize how much of a difference if you leave out one bag of food. If everybody were to do that, number one, we would need to get more volunteers, which would be awesome. But we would make such a big impact in our community.
Definitely. Every little bit helps. And I wanted also to say next week, postcards and bags from Dan's Supermarket will be in your mailbox. And these bags you can use to put your food donation in. And I wanted to give credit also to Dan's Supermarket. They've helped to...
They donate those bags,
They
right?
do, definitely.
That's so nice.
They've helped us out over 10 years with those bags. Yeah.
That's important. And so it just makes it very convenient and easy for people to grab a few items from their pantry.
Definitely.
So we're looking for United Way's backpack program, we're looking for things for items that have pop-top lids so that it's easy for kids to prepare these meals on their own. I had a foster child, a 17-year-old, just a couple weeks ago, and she said she's been on her own since she was 7 years old. Her mom, the only things her mom taught her was how to use a microwave and how to use to do her laundry. And so she's been making her own meals since age 7. So it's really important that they're easy meals, that they're somewhat nutritious if possible. I mean, if you can get some chicken noodle or get some fruit cups, things for the kids to snack on, things that won't go bad, right? They're non-perishable, and things that also won't get bruised and beaten up. And, because it's really going from your home into the postal carrier's truck into the huge bins over at the post office on Expressway, where we will be sorting and redonating a lot into pickup trucks, because United Way lines up the different food pantries around town to come pick up their food, and then to their final destination.
Yeah, and so if you can donate, please do. Also call the United Way office, 255-3601. We just got the numbers of volunteers that the carriers are going to need to help walk with the carriers, drive around and help pick up food. So we're going to be in need of those volunteers. I think we need 10 volunteers in Bismarck and also 10 in Mandan. And so if you live in one of those communities and you want to get up early that day and help walk or get some of your exercise on the weekend, give our office a call, 255-3601, and we'll get you signed up.
You know what's really fun, in which I've encouraged friends and my boyfriend, is that they bring their kids. And so every year, my boyfriend has brought his kids, especially his youngest, since she was probably 5 years old. And it's just a lot of fun.
Oh,
and
definitely.
It's a way for those kids to see what it means to give back.
Especially on a Saturday. That's where a lot of families can be out there together to help us out for a great cause.
Yeah, and I think we do have enough people sorting the food right now, but we are still looking for people to walk with the letter carriers. And so, Dewey, talk to us about what your hopes are for this day.
I'm hoping for nice weather for one thing. That definitely always seems to help how much food that we pick up. And I just want everyone to be safe. Like Jenna said, it would be great if we could have about 60,000 pounds of food collected. And I just want everyone to have a memorable experience on Saturday, May 14th.
Dewey, how long have you been doing this?
Over 20 years.
Seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate all of your support, Dewey. Thanks for doing this for our community, organizing this. It really takes a committee of postal workers that put this together, and United Way just provides whatever support we possibly can. So again, this is on May 14th. You can sign up at United Way to volunteer. We are assigning volunteers to different routes for letter carriers. We'll also have teams every 2 hours doing shift work at the postal office, sorting these donations and getting them out to our local food pantries. So put whatever you can out near your mailbox. We're looking for pop-top lids, fruit cups, granola bars, soups, even bigger items for some of our food pantries for families. Think of the smaller items. Those will go into our United Way backpack program, backpacks, so that kids can carry them and manage them. We had a child who was just so happy to have their own snacks at school the other week. It was really exciting for them. They've never been able to get that opportunity before.
Yeah, it's so great to hear all the stories. You know, we got a phone call from one of our counselors that just said, I wish you could come to school and get all of the hugs that I get when I hand out the backpack program. So leaving food out by your mailboxes May 14th is really going to make a lot of difference in our community. And just think of all the hugs that you're providing to those counselors.
Or come down to the postal
That's
office
right.
and we'll give you some hugs on May 14th. A big old thank you for your donation of food. Join us. We're going to be talking about the people who are needing many of these donations. We're going to have Kelly Gunch, the executive director of Welcome House, in studio in just a couple minutes. Come.
Right now, 61.
Super Talk 1270. Home of the Bismarck Bobcats and high school sports. Listen online or anywhere on the Radio Pub app. Super Talk 1270.
Welcome back. I'm Jenna Gullo, the executive director of the Missouri Slope area-wide United Way, and co-hosting with me today is Ms. Amber Jensen, the marketing and operations director at the United Way.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all enjoying this beautiful weather.
My goodness, it is so gorgeous outside, isn't it?
Yeah. What are we doing in the radio station?
We should be on a live remote.
That's right.
We're taking this show on the road, Jim. Woo! A special thank you to Jim Walsh, who just graduated with his master's from the University of Mary. We are so excited. So excited. Jim does all of our background work here at the station. He makes this show happen. And so we want to thank Town Square Media, Super Talk 1270, who donates this time. You can find us here every other week from 11 to noon on Tuesdays.
Lucky for the audience, huh?
We're sorry. If you pay us, if you donate, we'll go off air. The more money we have, the less we'll talk.
That's right.
But no, it's a lot of fun being here. Please remember to put your food out May 14th. We have the National Letter Carriers Food Drive. And so we're going to be helping at United Way to collect. Our goal is 60,000 pounds. So make sure you tell your friends and neighbors to get their food out and to make it good food, good for our United Way backpack program, different food pantries, and also homeless shelters. The one we support in Bismarck-Mandan is Welcome House, and talking here today about some of the families that you're serving and some of the things that you're needing over at Welcome House is the Executive Director, Ms. Kelly Gunch.
Good morning, Jenna. Thank you so much for having us on today.
It's so good to have you here, Kelly. Talk to us. What's new over at Welcome House?
Oh, goodness. Springtime, spring fever with the kids at the shelter. There's a lot of energy, a lot of buzzing going on, a lot of kids getting ready for the end of the school year. As you had mentioned in the earlier segment, the Backpacks for Kids program has been phenomenal. I know a lot of our families, once they move out into their own home, those kids it's still a little tight for families and everything, and those backpacks that are sent home for the kids, they go such a long ways for providing food, not only for those kiddos, but for the other children who aren't in school and really being able to make sandwiches and meals and things like that. So I know truly that our families really appreciate that, Jenna.
Yeah, and we're actually up to packing 789 backpacks for just the Bismarck and Mandan area.
That is mind-blowing.
Isn't that crazy?
It is just...
It's so sad.
But, it's something we see more and more. We receive at least a dozen or more phone calls a day. A day for shelter and for rent assistance.
Really, Kelly?
Folks
seems
in the
like
community.
A big increase. Why do you think that is?
I think that there is a problem with the cost of living. It's affordable housing is still very challenging in our community. There's jobs are plentiful, but on $12 or $13 an hour, it's pretty hard to pay $1,100, $1,200 a month for a 3-bedroom apartment. Housing is still very, very challenging for folks, and the wait to get on housing assistance, depending on Burleigh or Morton County, is anywhere for 4 to 8 months. So it does take a long time for folks to get that little helping hand up, and that's where we're really blessed at Welcome House to be able to achieve our mission and really work at folks at connecting families in our community who are homeless with shelter, connecting them with supportive services, linking them up with United Way, with Salvation Army, with Community Action, with so many agencies that as a community we support, and just different ways where we can get those supports in, some child care assistance, a little help with the local food pantry, the backpack program. We have seen a lot of requests for shelter. A lot of times folks, we don't see a lot of homelessness like we do in a big city, but folks are couch surfing. They're spending a month or so with this family or with a friend, so their whole family is kind of, into a small apartment or something, and then they're with another family for a while once they've kind of worn out their welcome. And so when they come to Welcome House, they've kind of experienced 3 or 4 residential changes like that, and it's kind of hard for the children. Makes it very challenging.
Oh, I can't imagine. And so are the families that you're serving, are they primarily born and raised in North Dakota, or are many of them still from out of state?
We are seeing a fair percentage, usually around half of them half of our families have been in North Dakota for less than a year. One of the families in particular, if I may share a kind of a heartwarming story, we've got a great success this week. One of our moms actually came from California. Was a wonderful, as she visited with me a few weeks ago, 2-parent family. Things were going well. They had everything, income. Things were going well. She could go to the mall and buy anything she wanted.
Why'd they come to North Dakota?
Well, her husband passed away. Things were going really well, able to buy anything she wanted, very financially stable in California. They both had great jobs. Her husband suddenly died and, left her in kind of a quandary. I mean, when you've got children and trying to take care of things, it just didn't quite work out there with, going down to a one-income family, coming here for some opportunities and friends that they'd known. But there again, you can only stay so long with another family before you kind of need to make alternate arrangements. And sometimes those situations maybe aren't so good. There's some violence and maybe things that you don't want the kids to witness there. So she had brought her family to Welcome House, and they've been with us just a month. And in that time, her and her new boyfriend had both found jobs. They are both working, having a great income. She's overcoming some disability issues and some back problems, dealing with a lot of chronic pain. But I tell you what, you couldn't tell just with the smiles and the positivity. And she comes in and knowing where she's been through just these past couple of years, losing your husband and losing everything you had, going into repossession and whatnot. And then coming to stay in a homeless shelter after, it just turned everything upside down. But they have worked so hard in the past month, Jenna, that we were able to, through some funding through the Department of Commerce, through some NDHG funding that way, able to help with their first month's rent and their deposit. Our family is moving out tomorrow. They've only been in the shelter for a month, but just being able to see the look on the kids' faces, a younger little guy and a 12-year-old, and just being able to see that they're so excited to move into their own home and that things are kind of falling into place. Being able to provide things through the postal carrier food drive, we will also be a recipient. But being able to send some of those groceries and things home to our families as they move into their own home, just to be able to help them get those supports in place, it is just such a blessing.
Yeah, what a great opportunity to see a family go through this and be able to come out on top and in the end getting their own housing. How long is the average stay at your shelter?
Well, we've done some numbers. You have to do a lot of number crunching. Of course, some folks stay a little longer than others depending on their situation. It's a little harder for single-parent families. It seems to take a little longer, but 45 to 50 days is pretty average. We do allow folks to stay up to 90 days, and then as long as they're completing their goals and really working towards, getting into their own home, we'll keep them a little longer beyond that if they truly need just that extra helping hand.
Kelly, what are the keys to keeping people in their home once they move out of Welcome House?
Really enabling folks to have that confidence and be as self-sufficient as possible. Most folks in the community who are receiving help, going to a homeless shelter isn't their first choice, and they want to receive, just enough to get by. I just, that open communication and case management, we do some additional case management for up to 3 years. I think that is very, very helpful for our families that are able to get a little additional insight and help with income and resumes and things like that. Child care assistance. It's a tremendous asset on the cost and availability of child care in our community for a working parent, especially if you're, on the low income the low income side of things. It's a challenge. I mean, you've got 2 or 3 children. It makes it even that much more difficult. But really hooking folks up with the right support systems. Lutheran Social Services has some great family programs. Salvation Army is able to come in and provide some of those assistances. Aid Incorporated to help out with some furniture and things. But I think just those small touch points that we're each supporting in the community, it really does, make a difference that way, and people are able to continue working as long as they've got just that little bit of help with food and with childcare. And
so, talking about help, you need some help to make an upcoming event successful.
Absolutely, Jenna. I've got a little bit of information the same day as a postal carrier food drive, actually. We have got our shelter's first annual family fun run. It's a 5K, 10K. You can walk or run, and there is still time to register online or at the day of. We're actually meeting at the walk launches from Raging Rivers in Mandan here. And you can register online by going to our website, welcome-house.net.
So I wonder who the postal carrier is. People could walk and run in your 5K? and 10K, and also at the same time help the postal carriers with the food drive.
That is a fabulous idea, Jenna. We should have got together with this a little bit earlier, but no, it'll be an exciting event. We're doing some door prizes. We've got a silent auction. And our registration fees right now, because we are past the early bird registration deadline, but $45 for adults, $25 for youth. As I said, they can go to our website or our Facebook page, register online. We are looking forward to, hoping for some great weather and looking for a great successful event.
Yeah, and if people want to volunteer at Welcome House, what are some of your top needs?
Well, our top need at this point is really having folks help a little bit with phones, doors, and maybe some grant research, a little bit of database things. We've got a lot of, most of the other things are kind of taken care of, but a little bit of that paperwork.
Yeah, and every hour counts. So everyone should get involved in the 5K, 10K walk and run for Welcome House. It is Saturday, May 14th. If you want to register, go online to welcome-house.net. It's $45 for adults and $25 for youth. Thanks, Kelly Gunch, Welcome House. Thanks appreciate all your hard work.
Well, thank you, Jenna, for having us on, and thank everyone. I'd like to thank everyone in the community for their generous support. We're very grateful.
Yeah, we will be back in just a couple minutes, so please join us. We're going to talk more about our Women's Leadership Circle. We have a social May 5th and how you can get more involved.
Currently 68.
Dave Ramsey is heard here. Super Talk 1270.
Welcome back. You are listening to United Way's Community Talk. In studio and co-hosting with me today is Ms. Amber Jensen, and I'm Jenna Gullah, the Executive Director of the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way. We're looking for your help this summer. We want to make sure that all children and adults who are going hungry have somewhere where they can access a meal. In Mandan, we're covered, right, Amber?
Yes. They will be at the library and another park in Mandan, and children and adults can go there every day, Monday through Friday, and get a nice warm meal from Mandan Public Schools. And now, since that was so successful last year, we are replicating that with Bismarck Public Schools.
Well, what's nice, too, is during the school year and during the summer, Spirit of Life Church offers a daily meal to those in need Monday through Friday. So we're covered in Mandan. We do the United Way backpack program, so kids are receiving meals, and we now do elementary, middle, and high school. So every family member, if their counselor chooses, can get a United Way backpack, and we're packing now for Bismarck and Mandan 782 backpacks full of food. And for the longer weekends, we have sponsors who are allowing us to buy loaves of bread, peanut butter and jelly. We just had a huge food drive with Lauren Hinckley, Century High School sophomore. So the realtors and affiliates, we got to give them some credit too. They collected 27,000 items for our United Way backpack program.
Which is crazy. And so that amount of food will get us through the end of the school year. And so the realtors will be packing this week and delivering, and we'll be putting in that peanut butter and jelly the last full week of school for Bismarck and Mandan Public Schools. And we wouldn't be able to add those additional items if it wasn't for these generous food drives and for the businesses that are sponsoring the backpack program. You can sponsor the backpack program for only $2,000, or if you're an individual and you do an employee campaign at your business and you want to sponsor one bag, it's $5. This summer, United Way is looking for $20,000 for the summer feeding program, and that is just $4 a meal to help out our community.
Well, so this is the thing. For our United Way backpack program, the slots are already filling up for the 2016-2017 school year. So if you really want your business to be a part of sponsoring, packing, and delivering these bags, we've heard such great feedback. Vogel Law Firm did it the other week. They said they had no idea what the need was and that they just loved delivering the backpacks to the school as well, and see how happy those kids were, and counselors, that they were going to be able to eat over the weekend. I mean, our community is so appreciative and incredibly generous. So what happens to these kids who are being fed during the school year once the school year is done? I mean, most kids look forward to summer, but we have so many kids, they're worried about where their next meal is going to be coming from.
Yeah, and they might be home by themselves, or they might be watching their 7-year-old brother or sister and needing that place to go that's a safe place for them to go, where there'll be volunteers there providing them that warm meal.
Yeah, so in North Dakota, we've only been reaching 7% of these children over the summer months. And so United Way is committed to working with community partners to make sure we're reaching the other 93%, really get those percentages up, make sure kids have a place to go during the summertime. And you know what? We don't have a soup kitchen open to the community anymore in Bismarck. We've always had one, and the last year or two, 2 different ones have closed down. And so if you're walking around in the community, I mean, and you don't have that basic need fulfilled of your first meal, how are you going to be able to move on and get a job, learn the skills you need, take care of your family when you have those hunger pains? So this summer, you can be involved in helping us end hunger. United Way is helping with the summer feeding program. Bismarck Public Schools has agreed to not only serve kids involved in Camp Ed, but serve the neighborhood in 4 different parks around the community. United Way Board has committed to sponsoring any adults that are in need for food. We've already got the kids covered. So if you can donate to the summer feeding program, go to msaunitedway.org. We're looking to raise $20,000, and we'll be covering this daily meal for Bismarck and Mandan through August 5th. If you can't donate your time, we're also looking for volunteers. We want 2 volunteers per site. We're going to start off trying to cover Sons of Norway Park, which is right on Expressway near Jeanette Myrie School, as well as Walker Wave Pool, which is right by Dorothy Moses. So can your business, help with 2 people a day on, say, Mondays for those 2.5 months? Call us and let us know. We're starting to fill up those slots. Or let's say you're retired and you just want to help, monitor the kids and help with whatever is needed in serving the meals. Well, give us a call. We'll have some days available too.
Yeah, we were just at our Women's Leadership Circle meeting, and the moment we mentioned we just needed 2 volunteers to do Mondays or a business to take Tuesdays, I think we had 3 women that were already raising their hands, and so I think this will go quickly. And so if you're a business out there and you're really looking for a volunteer opportunity, it's great because it's just about an hour and a half of your employees' time to come out and volunteer and really help our community.
And it's nice to get out of the office. My goodness, I wish we were doing it today.
I know, it's so nice.
Beautiful outside. The sun's shining. It's nice and warm, and it's fun. And to know that you're meeting a true need in the community. And United Way is also going to help to promote the program so that we get the word out, to children and their parents that this program is available for them. But the thing is this. At United Way, we solve problems, right? That's what we do, is we look at the community needs and we listen to our stakeholders, which involve our agencies and donors and volunteers. And one of the biggest issues that people have right now is that there is no place for community members to get that daily meal. So the summer feeding program, that is a short-term solution that we came up with in order to meet the needs, through the beginning of August. And that allows our community time and United Way to look into longer term approaches so that we're not constantly spinning the wheel, so that we have somewhere safe and reliable that people can send folks in need to.
Yeah, it's going to be a great opportunity. And if you're in Mandan, make sure you go to the library as well, because they have a lot of fun activities. Last year, it was a superhero theme, and so they had different leaders and community members from the community come and read with the kids. And so even if you wanted to volunteer at one of the parks and help us promote the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, we'd be more than willing to work with you to set that up as well. It's just a great opportunity to be a really positive mentor for a lot of these kids that might not have that.
If you don't have your child signed up for the Imagination Library, please contact us at United Way. We administer the program, and we also fundraise to cover the shipping and handling of those books. So your child will receive a free book in the mail, mailed to your home every month until they're age 5. Our costs are $25 for the entire year for your child. So many parents who are able to sponsor their own child, and many more sponsor other children. It's a great way for baby showers, a great gift that you can give. And it's also one of the initiatives of our Women's Leadership Circle.
Yeah, and just one more thing on the Dolly Parton. If you are from New Salem, we just got a phone call from the New Salem Community Foundation and Capital Credit Union. They're doing a check presentation next Monday. And so if you have a kid or a couple of children in New Salem under the age of 5, we will be soon signing up those kids, as we just received a great opportunity to expand the program to your area.
And you're going to love it. You're just going to love it. And this grant is for children in the New Salem zip code. We are also looking for funding for kids from Elmont, Glen Ullin, Hebron. So if you know a business out there, or you yourself have family there that want to sponsor, it's only $25 for a child. You can do it. We want to reach 100% of North Dakota with this valuable program, and we have just, I would say, about 12% left.
Yeah, so it's going to be close. And so hopefully our Women's Leadership Circle can help us get to that goal as well. If you are wondering, we've been mentioning the Women's Leadership Circle today, and you're wondering how you can get involved or what they are and what they do for our community, join us on Thursday, May 5th. We'll be having a fun Cinco de Mayo social at Courtyard by Marriott over in Bismarck, just by the Olive Garden. And so 4:30 to 6, come join us. We'll have a lot of fun.
And so for those of you who aren't bilingual, that's May 5th. Okay, so one last plug here, Amber. We're looking for Day of Caring projects because last year we recruited 974 amazing volunteers to volunteer on over 50 different projects in the community. So we need those project ideas and submissions sent over to us at United Way.
Yeah, if you know of an individual in need, or if you're part of a church and you know of someone that's part of your congregation that could use a little helping hand, maybe you drive by a place on your way to work every day and say, wow, they really could use some paint, make sure you give our office a call, 255-3601. This application is really simple to follow out. All we really need is to know is what the project is, how many volunteers you think it's going to take you, and what are the supplies that we need to work together to get raised.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is August 10th. So make sure that you're reserving your spot for a volunteer opportunity of a lifetime with United Way. Oh, we need you. We run on nearly 100% volunteer work. There's only 4 of us actually employed at United Way. Admin expenses are only 4%. So we need your help desperately. So call our office, go online to volunteerbizman.com. We look forward to seeing all the women out there of all ages on May 5th. Call our office for more details for Women United, a social we're having, to inform you about some impressive initiatives of our Women United group. We also are looking forward to you contacting us to help United Way make sure that all adults and children are fed this summer. Contact us for a donation or to volunteer. And then we're looking for Day of Caring projects. Thanks for your help. We really need you. You have a good 2 weeks.